Right there with you.
Like, really? Come on. Brian Nieper's in the house, everybody. Come on in. Let's see, is that it? All right, let's rock and roll. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah? Any successes? Anything we want to talk about and celebrate?
Father's Day, baby.
It was, hey, all the dads and me and Marty and Ron. And Ty-Ty's first Father's Day. Yeah, boy.
Father's Day.
Awesome. I hope you guys celebrated your dads. Ty-Ty. Is that all right? Is that...
It's the Austrian pronunciation.
Good. What you guys have got to put on your list? The Tyrolia, the Pittsville Valley and Tyrolia in Austria. One of the most beautiful places in the world I've ever been. So if you haven't done that yet, make it a part of your list. So awesome. Yeah, so we had Father's Day. I had a pretty awesome excuse me. We're starting. Thank you. I had a pretty awesome Father's Day celebration. My family whisked me away to Winter Park for the weekend, so that was pretty fun. Hey, Bob, come on, buddy. And happy Father's Day to you, pal. Yeah. All right, anybody like sell anything, get any under contract, make any leads, make any connections? Erjan, what's up, bud?
I should have a listing contract by Friday.
Yes. Good job, Raph. Awesome, man. That's fun. Were you nervous? Like, did you know what to say? Were you like, no? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of kept it too serious, I think.
And what? I'm sorry?
I kind of kept it too serious.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be fine.
Cool. Awesome, man. Congratulations. It's fun. Good job.
And then we're going to buy it around the house afterwards.
Perfect.
Yes.
Love it, dude. Good job. Anybody else?
Should be under contract this morning for a listing. So.
Another one bites the dust, Ron.
This
Good
is
job,
what I
man.
told you about the
Yeah.
quick turnaround.
The
one.
quick,
Yeah.
the real quick turnaround.
Yeah, the unfortunate turnaround.
Yeah. That's okay. Hey, we got him figured out.
Yeah, you know what?
Hey, come on in. You get a hug just because you sit up front. Good job, man. Right on. Titus.
So for listing contract for a guy who's the dad of a guy who I already have a buyer contract with.
Nice.
It's in Berkeley too. It's not.
Good. That'll move. Yeah, we already got it sold. Right here in the red. Like in the red.
We're just starting our
in red. That was my parents' wedding song. No, you know the song? No, she didn't know it, but that's the song that they danced to. Hey Rose, we got a couple options over here. I think we may move Mega Mondays to like Mega Friday afternoons in the summertime. So. All right, Rose, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, let's talk some absorption rates. Everybody know what an absorption rate is? This is really, really important because this is you learning how to become the expert. It's the language of real estate. What it means is it's how quickly the inventory is turning. Okay? The same thing that if you're an Amazon seller or a convenience store owner or a restaurant owner, you want to see how fast your inventory is turning. That gives you a picture of what's going on in the market and what's going on with your business. Okay? So, if you're less than $500,000 in Denver, Colorado, anybody want to guess? This part's important. Everybody understand list price to sold price?
Yes.
Right? So those ratios of like, hey, I put this out here in retail world, how much can I get? Am I going to get overpaid for it, which is awesome for your seller? Not so awesome for your buyer, but not so bad either because affordability is still very, very good because of interest rates, okay? So, in the less than $500,000 category, I focus here because that's where most of your transactions are going to be, right?
Yeah.
What do we know if you put a house on the market for 7 to 10 days, list price, sold price? Anybody have any idea of what those percentages, those ratios are?
102%.
It's going to be right at 100 to 103%. What does that mean? If I have a $500,000 house, you can expect in 7 to 10 days to get 100 to 103%, which is $515,000. Someone is willing to pay you $15,000 extra dollars because you're good looking or awesome or whatever it is. No, it's because the market's that crazy. Supply and demand. Okay? Make sense? All right. So if you go another stretch up, 15 to 22 days on the market, list price to sold price.
98 to 99%.
Right there, 97 to 99%. And guys, these are from DMAR. You can figure this out if you would go into Matrix, RE Colorado, and pull stats. Okay? Numbers are great because it paints the story. So this is the conversations you can have. If you're over 30 days, anybody have a listing that's sat for over 30 days?
And
Right now?
overpriced one.
And over, thank you very much, an overpriced one.
Not under 500.
Not under 500. So this though is the overpriced section. You can expect right at about 96%, which actually the 96% is probably the indicator of what the real value is, right? Right? Because the market will only give what the market will bear. Okay? So 60 days worth of sitting on the market, thank you very much, for 60 days. You can expect about a 94% list price to sold price. Okay? Are these conversations you can be having with sellers?
Yes.
Right on the very beginning, right? Because here's the end of the day. What do they really want?
Most money, least time.
You know what? It's the same if you're in Maryland. It's the same if you're in Texas. It's the same if you're in Virginia. It doesn't matter. They want less hassle, more money, and to recoup most of their time. Okay? So, prepping them and setting the expectation along here is key to you when you sit across from them to really establish yourself as the expert, right? Okay? Is this good stuff for you newer agents as well to understand? Okay? When you can throw out some percentages, you can throw out some based on market statistics, man, you look like you know what you're talking about, which is important, especially if you want to last in this business, right? All right, okay. Denver, in all price ranges, okay? We have about how many months of supply?
1.3.
Yeah, 1.5.
They'll tell you 1 to 3 months of supply. That's if you include like even the 2 mil and above. Okay? So if you're in the 200 to 400,000, how many months of supply?
Less than a month.
1 month.
15 days. That's freaking ridiculous.
What's a balanced market, Lee?
Right? Anybody? Who understands what that means?
3 to 6.
6 months.
5 to 6 months is a balanced supply. Okay, across any industry, any market, any area, those are the numbers that we use to create the understanding of what's really happening. Okay, does that make sense? Good. So 400 to 600. Anybody want to take a guess? 1.2 months. 6 weeks. All right. 600 to 800.
60 days.
Close. Right about 2.5 months. Hey, Kim. What's up, girl? No, I just love when people just come. It makes my day. Good to see you. All right. 800 to a mil.
Oh boy. 120.
Close. 4.8. Okay, and then a mil to 2.
6
months.
7.2 months.
That's how long it takes the millionaire to be willing to drop his house to the price that it'll sell.
So here's a strategy. When you look at absorption rates, okay, you know what I've discovered about agents? We all love to walk up and just swing for the bench or the bleachers, right? Because it's like it makes us feel good when I can put a $1 million property under contract or a $3 million property under contract. My highest one in Abilene, Texas was like, I don't know, 7.25, and that was like a big day. That was, how big was that? That was 6,000 feet, 10 acres, a pool, stone. The whole thing was stone.
I'm moving to Emily.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. trust me.
You're gonna
Ruby.
be ready to retire.
Yeah. Yeah, you go there to die, pretty much. So if you're cool with that, they got great hospitals. So I don't know.
And it's hot.
And it's
Very
hot. Yeah.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, you don't want to. So here's what I see. We love swinging for the bleachers, right? Because it makes us feel good. We get a big one. But you know what? Where do you win?
Top tier.
That's right.
Yeah.
So who'd like to have a paycheck
Every 15 days?
every 15 days?
Nice.
Sure.
So is it wrong to focus in here if you know that you can almost guarantee every 2 weeks?
Oh, it's healthy.
Absolutely.
Been doing that for 5 years.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you just discover those marginal gains. They really do pay off over time. Okay, so is that good? Does that help? Kind of create a little bit of clarity? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So speaking of marginal gains, anybody read my email yesterday?
Yeah.
That was good. Huh? That was pretty funny. Did you laugh?
I did.
Okay.
My husband actually, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm like,
That
that guy's
guy's
funny.
that guy's weird.
Entertaining.
There were the B words we were talking about, right? And one of the B words we used was
Balloon.
balloons. I'm gonna need some volunteers here in a second. I like to talk a lot about capacity, right? You hear me kind of throw that word around. What does that mean?
Probably what it can hold.
Okay, what you can hold, sure. Right? But like, what does it mean to have just capacity in your business, capacity in your personal life? So this is going to I'm going to flow in and out of business and personal today. Is that okay? Yeah?
Room.
So, huh?
Room. Someone described my dad as at his service having room for everyone. So I feel like he just had limited capacity.
Okay. Yeah. Is it okay to, it's like knowing your limits too? Is that okay to know? Right? Because at the end of the day, you can only do so much, right? But when we don't do quote unquote enough, who beats ourselves up about that?
We do.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, would I let my kids hang out with the thoughts in your head that you have about yourself some days? Probably not. So then why do we constantly go there?
Guilt. Guilt.
Okay, sure, we're probably taught from a young age, okay, right? So we get our value from what we do, not who we are, right? We strive for performance rather than performing from value, we perform for value, right?
I also think as entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
it's all here. It's not our boss, it's not the company. It's all right here.
Yeah.
So you do it or you don't, but.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So there's those aspects. So today I want to talk about capacity. Okay. So I got a little balloon. I picked red. Why did I pick red?
JW.
Debbie DeWitt. So we've got a little balloon here. Now I tried to get it. Water balloons are a little more difficult. Let's pretend that like these are the same size. Okay.
Front row.
Huh?
And we're in the front row.
Oh, don't worry. It'll feel great. It's hot out there. Let's pretend that these are the same size, okay? One's filled with
Water.
something, substance. The other's filled with
Yeah.
substance, right? Because air does create. Hey, guys, come on in. We're about to get the show started here. Just in time. Right up front. Come on, we got room.
Bring your punch up.
Rocky Horror Show.
So, as you go through life, especially new agents, who do you think a new agent feels most connected to, balloon-wise? Full of hot air, right? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I got a license. I got a skin that says I could do. Right? Is that fair? Our more seasoned agents, they've got some substance. They know some things. They've figured some things out. Had some successes. Had some wins. Got some things under contract.
Had a whole lot of losses.
Had a whole lot of losses. But at the end of the day, there's still some wisdom and knowledge there, right? Okay. So, I need a volunteer. I need 2 volunteers. Come on, don't be shy. Thank you, Griff, Kathy. Come on up. All right. So, how long have you been in the business now?
Almost 1 year.
Almost a year, Griff.
2.
2 years? So, because you're newer than Griff, I'm gonna get you to hold it right here. Okay? Griff?
We need some real veteran.
Alright, I want you to hold it here. Okay?
That sucks.
Just like that. Alright? So, who knows that entrepreneurialism, careful, not over here. I don't need it to pop just yet. Who knows that entrepreneurialism can put some fire to your feet, right? Like, you're self-employed. You have to make this happen. Pressures to perform. I got to do this for my client. Holy crap, I got to pay my mortgage. All these things that we all face, right? So, as you're newer in the business and you get a little bit of heat, what do you think is going to happen? Huh? Fast pop, right? Are you sure? So the heat gets closer,
It's gonna expand.
and all of a sudden, what happens? Oh, there it goes, right? Thank you, Kathy. That stinks. So
Uh-oh.
you felt a little bit of the fire and you popped. Who's had a failure? Who's had a failure? Okay, guys, remember it's an event, right? That happened, but it's okay. We can bounce back. Now, here's what I've discovered about those that are filling their capacity with things that are able to absorb the heat. You know what I've discovered? You want to see? You sure? The heat comes,
Hold it
and all
over
of a
his
sudden,
head.
it's going to keep absorbing it. Nothing's going to happen. Because it has the ability, they filled themselves with the things that are going to be able to let them win. Yeah, it might leave a little bit of a mark,
It's burned.
but it's not going to cause them to explode and deteriorate. Thanks, Griff. You
Cool.
can sit down.
Got it.
You see, we talk a lot about the failure rate in real estate. The failure rate in real estate is really no different than the failure rate in business.
Yeah.
Because 1 out of 10 businesses actually succeed. The ones that I've discovered that actually succeed have taken the time to fill themselves with the things they need to fill themselves to win. Who thought that was going to pop? Come on, really. You know what? I could take that same balloon and I could put a blowtorch to it and it wouldn't pop. Eventually, as the heat causes the water to boil, it would explode from the inside out, not from the outside in.
Prove it.
Go grab me a blowtorch.
Okay.
How often does that? Is that like not our lives? Not just in business, right? Personal, okay? There's so many things that cause pressure from the outside to light us up. But if we're not filling our capacity with things that actually allow it to absorb it, what are some of those things?
Expectations.
Okay, setting our expectations right. I'm not thinking I'm going to wake up every day and hit these 2 meals. Because is that realistic? Does that happen?
That's the good news and the bad news.
Huh. What else? What else are we filling ourselves with?
Volume, the more business you do, the less that one transaction affects life.
So if I have 6 deals going, has anybody ever had a deal fall apart? But if I have 6 of them going because I've taken the time to fill my schedule and my life with the things that actually matter and are going to produce results, if one of them falls apart, I got 5 deals left, right? That's still, 88%?
And your bills are still being paid.
Exactly. What about personally? What are we filling ourselves to grow our businesses and learn how to become better leaders? What are we doing?
Taking classes, being here.
Learning base. Being here. Right. How you show up on Mega Mondays, how you show up all week, right?
Late or not.
Late or not, here's here. What else? What are you doing? What about our thought patterns?
Well, they're more positive.
Staying positive.
Absolutely.
They're upbeat. They're not negative, and
Absolutely.
you're willing to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Give.
Giving away. Right? Yeah.
I think when you're new and you start doing something like door knocking or whatever, you think somebody's gonna pop your balloon with it. big like slamming the door in your face, and it just doesn't happen.
No.
You just doesn't happen. I looked at the no soliciting and no handbill sign at my complex today, and like, I wonder what that would have done to me a year ago
Yeah.
walking on this property.
Yeah.
Today I thought it would just go post flyers on everybody's door, but before that I thought it would, oh, I can't go in here. You know, so it's just experiences and realizing that maybe it's not gonna pop.
Absolutely. So our ability to handle rejection, right? How key is that in business? Does everybody want to use us and help, want our help? No, not necessarily. Even our closest friends and family. That happens, right? So, good picture about life, business, yeah? Okay? What are you filling your capacity with? Because every one of you has capacity for a lot. Now, some of you maybe have stuff in there that you try to put more in and it just spills everywhere because you're carrying and hanging on to, false expectations, things about what you believe about yourself, all that stuff, that it doesn't allow more goodness, more things that have the ability to absorb the heat of life, of business, so that you can actually handle rejection, so that you can actually get some wins. Okay? So this is for you to determine what is it about yourself that isn't allowing the capacity to expand, that is actually pushing it out. Like I tried 4 different times to fill up a balloon this morning because the spigot, the hoses were too big, so I kept pulling and it kept tearing, right? That happens in our lives. So you discovering what that is, what you're doing to create the flow in your life, okay? So, who's heard of a guy named David Brailsford? Anybody? This is where we're going to talk about bikes now. Remember? Burritos, bacon, balloons. Now we're talking about bikes. And then we'll get to the Brits. All the single ladies like, ooh, Brits. All right. Buddy Trip Howell, everybody. Everybody Trip Howell. When we're talking tall, dark, and handsome, here he is. All right. He missed it.
He came for the 9 o'clock meeting.
That's right. All right. David Brailsford. Do you know who David Brailsford is? About to learn. That's right. Okay, so David Brailsford is the general manager and performance director of Team Sky. Team Sky,
British.
the British cycling team. Okay? British cycling team that competes in the
Tour de France.
Tour de France. Here we go, man. So this guy had a really, really, really tough job. Do you know why?
Picking the team.
Sure. Huh?
Bike engine.
Bike engineer. He was the coach, the GM, the performance director for a team that had never won the Tour de France. So step into that role. Hey guys, we're a team of losers. All right, here we go. And I got to captain you to the ship. So what he discovered is a very, very simple concept called the aggregation of marginal gains. It's an economics term. Who knows what it means?
Each small gain in total makes your aggregate greater.
Baby
Okay.
steps.
Baby steps, perfect. It's the 1% margin for improvement in everything you do. 1% is not very sexy, is it?
Better than 0%.
Better than 0%. 1%, though, could mean an extra $500,000 or $5,000 in this case, right? So who often throws out the small little things like, it's just 1%, right? But it doesn't matter. It's just 1% of this or 1% of that. We don't necessarily think it's a big deal, but the reality of it is it's a big deal. So basically, his belief is that if you improved every area related to cycling by just 1%, then those small gains would add up to remarkable improvements, right? Okay? So, let's just think cycling. Areas of optimization. Okay, what are some areas that you could optimize if you're in cycling?
Endurance.
Okay?
Speed.
Nutrition. Equipment.
Yeah, spandex brightness.
Spandex.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Glute strength.
Okay, nutrition. Right.
Strategy.
The brighter the spandex works better.
The brighter the spandex.
The brighter the spandex, the better it works. Science.
So basically what David did is he said, I'm going to look at the nutrition of my riders. I'm going to look at their weekly training programs. I'm going to look at the ergonomics of the bike seat. Simple. I'm going to look at the weight of the tires. Are those all areas to optimize, right?
Sure.
Okay. What Brailsford didn't do is he didn't just stop there. So then what he did is that he searched for the 1% improvement, not just in these areas of normal natural optimization, but in everything related to subcategories. He niched not just down, but across as well. He found those niches that would help over time. He looked at what the type of pillows that his riders were using, so that when he brought them to the hotel, they slept better at night, right? Okay? He looked at the best massage gel for their quads after a hard ride. He looked at the best way to wash their hands to avoid infection. I mean, like, those are some fairly extreme things, but you know what they are? They're subconscious, and we do it in all aspects of our life. We don't realize that we're doing it. We don't really take the attention that's needed and the focus that's needed on those 1% things that actually are the foundation of the bigger areas of optimization. Right? Okay? So, the belief was that if they could successfully execute that strategy, Team Sky would be in a position to win the Tour de France in 5 years. That was the belief. They came up with the strategy. Team Sky won it in 3 years. And they didn't do anything different, but they focused on the aggregation of marginal gains. Okay? So, 2012, a guy by the name of Sir Bradley Wiggins, he was like 6'6", won the Tour de France for the first time as a British cyclist. Okay? Not only did Bradley Wiggins win, but 2012, what big world event happened? We got another one.
Olympics.
The Olympics. The Brits won 70% of the gold medals. Never happened. 2013, a guy by the name of Chris Froome, who was a British cyclist, won the Tour de France. So they had a back-to-back win, all because they focused on the aggregation of marginal gains. Okay, what can we learn? All right, here we go. The aggregation of marginal gains is a simple concept. Basically, it's easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making better decisions over the long term. Say that again? That was good. It didn't sink in, I'll say it again. Might even say it the third time. It's so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making better decisions over the long term. Do we do that?
Yeah.
I do that, daily, right? Do I really want to call that agent? No. I should probably call that agent. Right? Do I really want to call this person to try to create value for my business? No, not really. I'd rather be squishing sand in my toes. But I should probably do that, okay? So often we convince ourselves that change is only meaningful if there is some large, visible outcome associated with it. It only matters if I can get this. Because that's a big one. Everybody look at me. Look how awesome I am. Right? It could be in our business, sure. It could be about our health, right? I really wish I could lose 50 pounds by the end of next week. Does it work like that? No, unfortunately it doesn't. Okay? We put pressure on ourselves to make some earth-shattering improvement that everyone will talk about on social media. wow, that guy's life must be awesome. Look what he did, or look what they did, look what she did. And we put that pressure on ourselves to get that notice, right? So we become noticeable because we don't really necessarily give ourselves what we really need. Make sense? Yeah? Okay, maybe I'm just talking to a mirror today. Okay? Improving by just 1% really isn't notable. Sometimes it's not even noticeable. Right? But it is meaningful. Especially over the long term. Okay? Pattern works the same in reverse. You can have the aggregation of marginal gains, but you can also have the aggregation of marginal losses. Yeah?
Yes.
Do you find yourself stuck with bad habits or poor results? Did it just happen overnight?
Nope. No.
We like to think it did. Oh my gosh, how did I get here? I'm sure that's exactly what LeBron said and Steph Curry. Oh, how did I get to Game 7 at the World Championships of the NBA Finals? Unbelievable. Right? Yeah? So really, the reality of it is it's the sum of many small choices. A 1% decline eventually leads to a real problem over time. Okay? So, this is where I'm going to get all economics on you. We all have a starting point. Who had a starting point? Adam had a starting point this last month. So did Erjan. Okay? Ron's starting point was just over here. But what's the main theme that everybody has? Everybody starts, and we're all on what? The same continuum called time. Right. So Ron, being in the business for a long time, you know, or the Sabiskis or Rose, everybody started. The only difference is that you guys just started before these guys. Okay? So what this looks like, excuse me, you have the 1% improvement. Okay? Excuse me. Then you have the 1% decline. So, let's just start with, let's actually start with decline first. Basically, everybody starts, right? So over time, let's just, I'm going to do my best. I got 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. Okay? What do you think the other graph's going to do? All right, guys, this is economics 101. This is what you go to Harvard for. Okay? 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. As I compound 1% over time, all of a sudden the disparity really starts to show. You don't quite see it at first. It's really not that noticeable. But you know what was meaningful is the fact that each and every one of them did what? Started. Absolutely. Okay? The aggregation of marginal gains, if I'm up close, can I really see what's happening?
No.
But when I step back, it really becomes noticeable. When you start, there's no difference between making a choice that is 1% better or 1% worse. Like, if I start in this business, what's a 1% better choice and a 1% worse choice? Today, on Monday.
Doing something.
Waking up. Sure. That's a good choice. Glad you woke up today, Lou.
Trip.
I know what Trip was doing. He was hustling. That's right. So if I start today, okay, you're going to get out of here in 23 minutes. What's the 1%, difference of doing something better and the 1% doing something worse?
You go straight to lead generation or you don't. I don't know.
That's
You
a
wait
great.
5 more minutes.
Make an appointment, right? 1 appointment a day. Or do I add that person to my database? Or do I get a little bit more organized? Or do I, all those things, they're decisions that we make, okay? It doesn't quite impact you too much today if you don't necessarily make an appointment. Now, if we keep that same pattern, then you know how many people that I started my real estate class with? And not just my class, but when I started at Coldwell Banker, in that first initial training group. There's about 15. You know how many left in the business? 3? 2. Right? And then, you know what? Our level of excitement, each and every single one of us was like, yeah, we're going to make so much money in real estate. It's going to be awesome. And I get to live this dream life. And I get to go do whatever I want. And then people just give me their houses to sell. It's great. It's exactly what it's like. Right, Debbie? Totally. Totes. So here's the deal. As time goes on, the small improvements or decline compound. And suddenly you find a very big gap between people who make slightly better decisions on a daily basis and those who don't. In our world, especially at Keller, everybody's heard of the DISC, right? Where are my D's in the room? All right, you're like, Lee, get on with it. This is, okay, enough. All right, where's my I's? It's party time. Woo, woo, woo. S's? Okay, and my C's. Do you know who wins over the long term in real estate? These guys right here. Always. Hands down. You know why? They stick to a system. They make great 1% decisions. They don't need the celebration of getting the $2 million deal. And these guys, they just, man, there's a trail of bodies in their wake. Right?
Yeah.
But yet, it's funny is that these guys are the ones that get celebrated the most. They're out there. They're empire builders. Yeah, on dead bodies, that's how they build the empires. Am I wrong? No? Yeah? Something funny? All right. So, small choices don't make much difference at the time, but will definitely over the long term. So, here's the deal. Bottom line, I want to read you a great quote. Who knows who Jim Rohn is? That's some good stuff to be filling your capacity with, right? Big thinkers, big dreamers. Success is a few simple decisions, practice every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated daily. Right? I mean, like, is success this huge event?
They're both temporary.
Right? Overnight success is how long does it take me to get there?
Overnight.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, overnight successes are lottery winners. And then guess what? What happens after they go through that? How many lottery winners do we hear about that are like doing great things? Exactly. But the ones that over time, daily, I made a great decision today. And they celebrate that within themselves.
Lee, I want
Yeah.
to give you a compliment. And that is, last couple weeks, and for people that weren't here, it's really made a huge impact on me when you said the difference in goals and systems.
Mm-hmm.
And that has made such a big difference, and if the people didn't hear this, you might want to review it sometime. And what I've been thinking about is when you set a goal, is not to get hung up on the goal, but make it that North Star.
Yeah.
You can look in the north and know there's the North Star, and that's where I'm heading.
Yeah.
But you don't say, my goal is to be there in one day, or in one, but then the systems that you're working on are propelling you to that goal. It was a big aha, huge aha. Awesome. Never heard anyone say that before, so hats off.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we talked about goals are good for like planning progress, but systems were great for making progress. Right? Okay? So we love to talk about success in life in general as this event. Right? When I hit this $2 million deal, I'll be successful. Now, it does help to get a big one under your belt because then you know you worked like 10 times less, theoretically, than the $200,000 deal. But you know what I've discovered, though, is that these two hundos, they pay the bills,
They do.
right? They keep you moving. They keep you allowing to continue to plan the progress, to continue to, not plan the progress, to make the progress that you need, okay? So, whether it's building a business, you know, our health gains, our personal lives, our relationships with the people who are most important to us, you know, what about winning the Tour de France, okay? We think that those are events. No, winning the Tour de France was the And they just happen to put it all together on one day. Right? Most of us think that the significant things in life aren't standalone events, but it's rather the sum of all the moments that we choose to do the 1%. 1% better or 1% worse. Okay? Aggregating these marginal gains makes a difference. There's power in small wins and slow gains. All you non-gym rats out there, Tripp doesn't know what I'm talking about. He's like, gains for days. You flexes? Come on, that's gains. Tripp's not afraid of those gains. This is why average speed is greater than average results. Okay? This is why the system is actually greater than the goal. Right? We talked about that last week, right? Okay? And this is why mastery, mastering your habits, mastering, who you are, mastering you, being the best you possible, is actually more important than the outcome. Does that make sense? But yet, where do we think we put all our emphasis and focus on, right? Because all of this is performed for value. Right? I'll be good when I drive that. I'll be fine when I have in my bank account. I'll have arrived when I live in, right? Okay? What I want you to do is be countercultural to that stuff and focus on these things. Man, just what's your approach? How quick are you going about doing your business? What's the system that's getting you there? Is it humming? Is it firing on all 8 cylinders? Okay? Are you awesome at being you? Because if you're not, then we're really missing out. And what you're missing out on the aggregation of marginal gains is the whole concept of the compound effect. Do you win at money, at the money game? That's all money is. It's a game. It's an idea. Do you win at the money game by just going out and making a pile of it and sitting on it? Or do you win by starting with this and over time, and you still protect that principle, right? Compound interest, powerful, powerful thing. Okay? So, here's the question. We got 14 minutes, and I want to talk about it. This is okay to be vulnerable and transparent, because then what that does is it causes you to go to another level. Where are the 1% improvements in your life? I'm not talking about, I need to stop, I don't know, huge things, right? Okay, that's great. We all have these big ideas. I want 1%. I want you to niche down and niche sideways. Okay? This is easy to pull out. Areas of optimization, right? We all can look in the mirror and say, Lee, you suck at whatever. We're good at that. We know that. I want you to think 1% gain. Because it's one ladder on the rung, it's one step on the stair to get you to where you want to go. But if you can't identify it, it's really hard. I want you to have these little wins because they do matter. Okay? Do I see your hand? Or are you stretching? Stretching?
Affirmations in the morning.
Affirmations. Awesome. Love it. Do you have some?
I'm a great salesperson.
You know what my affirmations are every day? Huh? Kids? Yes, they affirm me a lot. And then they ask for money, but you know. My affirmations, I'm a great dad. I'm an amazing husband. I'm a beloved son. That's powerful, guys. Thanks, Kim. Who else? Ron.
My affirmation is each day, I'm already enough.
Absolutely. start from there. It's easy to build on that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's dug a hole for themselves in their life at one point? Okay, I got Julie who's honest.
Yeah.
And Rose, thank you, Rose, Marty. Is it hard to dig up? Yeah.
Stop digging. first.
Stop digging. So when you stop digging, you're saying, you know what, hey, I'm enough. Enough. Okay? Great. What are the 1% stuff?
I just did it like really literally, like if I took 1% of my current workday, like time-wise, that's essentially an extra 6 minutes. So I
Okay.
was thinking if I got up 6 minutes earlier, I would make coffee at home every morning and not get it on my way here, which would save me, what, $5, 5 days a week. So over time, it'd be huge. 6 minutes, 6 more minutes.
Dave Ramsey talks about, you know, yeah, the latte factor. Yeah.
I'm a Dave Ramsey dropout.
Now, I'm not saying what Dave Ramsey says is like, you know, the end all be all, but okay, so we have time. You have a latte, a $5 latte over 30 years. I think the number was $680,000. If you were to invest that same $150 a month into a decent yield mutual fund.
So $30 is getting 6 minutes earlier, that's nothing, right?
However, if you work the extra 6 minutes, you can afford.
You're right. Hey, look,
But you can
there's
cut it anyway.
we got dropouts and believers. Okay, I'm not saying one's the other. I'm just saying, look, this is some of those things.
I'll give you one. We're working with this from another company, which are trying to bring this lady to Keller, but we'll see. It's a process. It's in the journey. It's not the destination. But hers is, and I've adopted it, is just even 5 more personal touches a day. Getting on the phone, I'm calling Lee Archer, just seeing how you doing, letting you know I'm still out there. Personal touch is over. It's, a lot of people, they poo-poo it. It's so powerful.
Absolutely.
Just that personal touch, and not by an email, and not by a text, by a real life phone voice to a phone voice. Or a drop by.
Drop by. Love it.
It's not Jim Rohn, but who's the inspirational coach guy?
Jim Collins?
something.
Tom Ferry?
No. Anyway, he says like, if
Collusion.
you can't give away 1% of $100 right now, how are you ever gonna give away 1% of $1 million later?
It's true.
Like,
That's good.
so.
Anybody ever written a check for $10,000? One of the funnest things Beck and I did is we gave. I loved it. We had the coolest when we lived in Europe. It was a Volkswagen Touran. They don't even make them here in the States. It was a 7-seater diesel 6-speed. I got 52 miles to the gallon. I loved it. And we got to give it to a family that was just. No, I don't say it to toot our horn, but that was one of the funnest things we've ever
You
done.
gave the car.
Gave the car away because we couldn't bring it back with us.
Good for you.
And I don't say that. I mean, look, I don't need your applause or whatever, but like you're right. If you can't give 1% of 100, you're not going to be able to give 1% of a million, right? It's good, awesome. Yeah, Grit.
Another good one, or for me, is improving rest or quality of rest.
Yeah. Absolutely. Guys, there's a reason why you should have at least one rest day a week. Okay? When you can operate from rest, and it creates way better flow in your life. Trust me. Okay? Like, shut your phone off one day a week. You're not missing out. You need to rest as well. Okay? Like, that's powerful. Rest is not bad. You are not lazy if you rest. We shake your head. Yes, Lee. I will rest. Okay.
Business for you doesn't have to involve you.
That's right. What else? Another 1%. It can feel so insignificant and so small.
Read a chapter in a book.
Reading, absolutely. What book do you want to read?
You know, I read it a long time ago, but Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
I just started that one.
Yeah.
Just finished that one.
Yeah. Good?
The third time, yeah.
Third time?
Yeah, it's a good time.
Awesome.
As you grow, even though you've read it before, when you read it again later,
Yeah.
years later, you see it differently.
Yeah, that's what's funny about that book is that it's what 1920,
Yeah, guy was way ahead of his time.
and That's 100 years later, and we're still like, see, that's the difference between like intelligence and wisdom. See, intelligence is very current, very modern, but wisdom stands the test of time. If you want to grow in intelligence, you know what I've discovered about the more, like, pretend this is like a relevancy factor, not just time. People who grow in intelligence, how relevant do they stay? People who grow in wisdom, how relevant do they stay? Awesome. Reading a book. What else? Yeah.
My veggie smoothie every morning sets the tone for eating for the whole day.
Nutrition. Love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dial it in. Love it.
Lee, on Friday night, we went to see Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now,
Uh-huh.
and it was sold out at the Buell Theater. And I mean, really expensive tickets. But if you guys want to read a book, read The Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle, and the reason it fits us as realtors, because you can't control the future. Wallowing in the past does you no good. It's only right now, as Lee's speaking, it's only the now, right now, that you're putting all your effort into it, and you'll grow. Because all that other is just a waste of your time. The future and the past are a waste of time. If you think about it, it's only right now.
Good.
Great book.
And now actually causes my capacity to expand, right? People feel like you're gaining something. There's flow coming, right? There's some absorption in your life, so that when you go out this week and somebody does put a little hot foot underneath you, you can absorb it, right? Okay. All right, somebody else, and then I'll share mine. 1%.
Improving your calendar efficiency.
Time efficiency. Awesome. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Focus on more important pressing factors before dealing with the mundane stuff.
Yeah.
I just put a grocery list app on my phone, so I don't have to remember to write it in the refrigerator, I don't have to remember to grab the paper, and it's right there.
Can I change everybody's life in this room right now?
Yes.
Walmart has order your groceries online and you just pick them up. Mind blown. How much time did I just save? And typically grocery runs.
And money.
They deliver too.
Yeah.
Because you aren't going down the aisle and saying, oh,
Yeah.
I want that, that looks good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saved your money.
Typically grocery night ends up being like a little date night for us. That's so sad. I know.
I love it.
But guys, if you just order it online, 24 hours later, you just drive up and it's right there. Okay, maybe someone's not as excited. Like for like your regular, like your cereal and deodorant or whatever. If you don't buy it at King Soopers, I wouldn't get my produce at Walmart per se, but that's a big time saver.
Well, what do you do with the other half of your date?
Well,
Pick it up.
hey Kim, I mean, it is my. I mean, hey, there's a line here, and you know.
Go to Lowe's.
We go to Lowe's, yeah. That's what they call it these days. Awesome. Okay, great. You know what mine is? You want me to tell you? To really focus on connecting to my kids. I got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and in 6 years she'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like crap, where did the time go?
That's a heartbeat, man. It's fast.
And it's like, it's crazy. Like we're celebrating Father's Day, and I'm looking at my little girl, and I'm like, I want her to know that, like, yesterday, guys, I found out that my dad's got tumors on Father's Day. So that's hard. I'm not close with my dad. He's got Parkinson's, and there's a reason why I live 4,000 miles away. But still, for Becca and I, we're doing what we can to rewrite our legacy. And I'm looking at my kids and just, like, it's time. Like, it really is time, and how fast it goes. And sorry, I'm trying to but you asked, and I told you I'd be vulnerable. But the reality of it is like, I want my kids to know, like, My dad loved me. I win. I win. I don't care about any of that crap. I win. But from that place, remember I said, I'm a good dad. I'm a great husband. I'm a beloved son. From that place is how I operate in my business. It changes everything, right? So that's what I want to do. That 1% gain, I'm going to stop looking at it as a loss, like it is insignificance, because it's not noticeable. But I'm looking at it as, man, that's meaningful. Playing Mario Kart with my son and getting my butt handed to me at a video game. Well, you know what? It means the world to him because I'm on his level connecting with him. Okay? Guys, you're amazing. Don't despise the day of small beginnings. They're powerful. Our new people in the business, focus on getting your database to 300. Make an appointment every day. Our seasoned agents, maybe it's time we don't just start focusing on the areas of optimization, but niching down to the smaller things that really are the foundation of what we do. Not just in our business, but of who we are, as we present ourselves as the expert out there. Okay? Any other questions? You're amazing. Thank you for your time. It means a lot to me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
He's a good man. I told a young guy over the weekend at church, he just got married. I said, I said, yeah.
All right.
Yes, dear. Shut up. Do not argue because you win the little battle.
Okay, great.